Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from know drew well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom. Coming to you back on another lesson through the Spirit. Now I'm entitled this one, The Whole Creation is Mourning for New Rulership. Meaning the earth, the planet earth, the inhabitants, the people, the humans, the creatures of the earth, the fowls of the air, the birds, all the wildlife, the sea life, and even the trees, the plants, the grass. It's all crying out for the Israelites, the sons of God, to get put in a rulership position. Because right now we have the wicked, the third part of men, which are the Edomites, the descendants of Esau, which are the self-proclaimed white people, because they're not white, they're not pure, they're anything but pure, they're the complete opposite. The self-proclaimed white men are really the true black people, because they're void of light, they're void of understanding, and it shows by the way they're running the planet Earth. They're not running it based off the law, statutes, commandments, like they claim to do. Especially here in America, Babylon the Great, it established itself as a so-called Christian country, but are they upholding the most basic, I wouldn't even say the most basic, but are they upholding the 10 commandments? No, they're doing the complete opposite. They're not keeping the land Sabbath. You know, you're supposed to have a year of Jubilee. They're not doing that. You know, they hoard all the lands to themselves. They hoard slaves and people to themselves, letting you know that the so-called white man is not the true chosen people, because what you see on the planet Earth, deforestation, chemtrails, GMO foods, people sick of, full of all types of sicknesses and diseases, that's a result of the self-proclaimed white man ruling upon the planet Earth. That's a result of the nation of Israel falling away from their power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and having those curses put upon them. But very soon, the self-proclaimed white man is about to get taken out of his rulership position, and the nation of Israel, starting with Yahweh Shai, the 144,000, are going to put the world, the earth, back in order, like it's supposed to be. This is Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the face of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So this is the reason why the earth is being ran by the self-proclaimed white man Esau, eaten by the Edomites, because the earth was given unto them as a blessing by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, by Isaac, which he gave Esau that temporary blessing, where you can read that is Genesis 27, and then he gave that eternal blessing, immortality, complete dominion of the planet Earth forever, to the nation of Israel, to Jacob, to Israel, and his descendants, the 12 tribes. But right now we're living in the blessing of Esau, Edom, and the result of that is destruction, death, gloom. Everybody's crying out, from humans to wildlife, bird life, because the wicked is in power. And you can clearly see that, because if the righteous, which are the Israelites, were in power, then the earth will be ran in righteousness. It will be ran with the law, statutes, commandments at the forefront. But clearly that's not happening with the imposters over there in the Holy Land, which are proclaiming to be the true people. But we know they're not, because there's no peace. There's nothing but war, nothing but death, destruction. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, by his philosophies, proclaiming to be the true chosen people, and using the Bible and the scriptures to carry out genocides around the world because they claim that the earth is theirs. It says he is a proud man, proud as all hell. You can't tell him nothing. You can't tell him that he has to be brought down. You can't tell the small hats that they're the Amalekites, because then they'll use the anti-S. It says neither keep it at home. Just went around, just went to Venezuela and took their oil. Now he's going to Iran, trying to take their oil, just going around the earth, taking everybody's resources. It says, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is his death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So he can never have enough. Here you have complete rulership of the entire planet Earth. You have dominion over the resources, dominion over the people, dominion over the animals and the supply chain. But yet, that's not enough. It's not enough for this devil to have complete rulership of the entire planet Earth. He wants more. He wants the souls of the men. He wants to be inside people by the way of that RFID microchip, which is an MOTB. This is where it's coming to with this devil, of how childish of a person he is. He's a child trying to implement AI throughout the four corners of the earth, but it's not working. AI is showing to be faulty with all these automated systems that he's implemented in all these different job sites. It is failing because it's not meant to be this way. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against them, and a taunting proverb against them, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay? And that thick clay is that depth. Who is the country with the most depth in the world? I'm gonna look it up. Just country with the most depth in the world. It says the United States has the highest national government debt in the world, surpassing 38 trillion. And how did it get to that point? Because Esau, Edom, the cerebral white man, can never have enough. He always wants more. He's not content with just having the basic necessities. Like the scripture says, give me neither poverty nor riches, food convenient for me. Esau, Edom doesn't have that spirit. He's been given a spirit of covetousness, always chasing after another thing. Even though here the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, the elite banking families, they don't even have bank accounts because they don't need it. They own continents, they own countries, they own water, they own the food supply. But that's why eventually all these countries are going to turn against Esau, Edom, because he's nothing but a devil. All he does is take, destroy, kill, murder, grape. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. So Yahweh Shimon Shai has allowed these devils to go around the earth and cause destruction. Devise all these wicked plans, draconian plans. And then you have the WF meetings, the WHO, telling you straight up what they're about to do. They're about to implement a digital prison. They're going to stop allowing humans to have basic necessities, water. You're no longer going to have free access to water. You're no longer going to have access to driving. You're no longer going to have access to just roam around the earth freely. It's leading to a digital prison. So Yahweh Bashim Shai is allowing these devils to get their enterprise, their NWO, up and running. So Yahweh Bashim Shai can drop that hammer on them. Like, okay, you want to rule the earth in complete wickedness? You're going to be set as an example. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And whose heritage did they take? The nation of Israel, proclaiming to be the true chosen people, the true Israelites. But where are the other 9 tribes? Where's the northern kingdom? Where's King David? Where's Yahweh Shai? So the whole world is starting to find out that they're nothing but liars, that the cause of all the problems on the earth, inflation, people losing their jobs, people, people getting bombed in the Middle East, that's all Esau Edom. That's self-proclaimed white man. You can't blame that on Pookie and Ray Ray and Juan and Jose in the hood. No, the one who is causing this global collapse of the economy, the stock market, the housing market, car market is Esau Edom, because he's about to reset this thing. Look at it. Look at what he's doing with the AI centers, the data centers. They're just sucking up all the water. It's childish. That's why the earth needs a new rulership, and that's why the earth is crying out. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 19 in the NLT, the New Living Translation. It says, verse 19, for all creation is waiting eagerly for that future day when the Most High will reveal who his children really are. And the earth knows, the animals know who the true chosen people of Yahweh Bashim Shai. It's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners that have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. The animals know, the life on the earth knows that Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, aren't the true chosen people. That's why they're getting attacked over there in Israel. I think Tel Aviv, they got attacked by bees, and now they're getting attacked. They were getting visited by crows because they're not the true chosen people. They know, the animals know that these people are imposters. It says, verse 20, against his will, all creation was subject to Yahweh Bashim Shai's curse, but with eager hope, verse 21, the creation looks forward to the day when it will join Yahweh Bashim Shai's children in glorious freedom from death and decay. And that's the kingdom of heaven. That's what the whole creation of earth, and first and foremost, the elect of the nation of Israel, the 144,000 and the 1/3 is eagerly waiting upon, is for Yahweh Bashim Shai to establish the kingdom of heaven upon the planet earth, where the earth is finally going to know rest. It's going to know the land Sabbath. It's going to know the year of Jubilee. It's going to know the law, statutes, commandments being pushed at the forefront. And all these nations, the 2/3 of our people, and these heathens, they're going to appreciate it. Because it says right here, Proverbs 29 and verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And everybody's mourning right now. The animals, the people, the humans, everybody's complaining about inflation. They can't make ends meet. And here you have your own nation, the Edomites, broke as hell in your own kingdom. You have Israelites doing better than Esau, Edom in his own kingdom, letting you know that this man is not fit for rulership. He don't care about his own nation. What type of ruler doesn't care about his own nation of people? Is Esau, Edom. Gave him the short end of the stick, hoarded the blessing off for himself. These top elite banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. This is back in Romans chapter 8 and verse 22. And it reads in the NLT, for we know that all creation had been groaning as in the pains of a childbirth right up to the present time. Verse 23, and we believers also groan, even though we have the Holy Spirit within us as a foretaste of future glory. For we long for our bodies to be released from sin and suffering. We too wait with eager hope for the day when Yahweh Bashim Shai will give us our full rights as his adopted children, including the new bodies he had promised us. And that's how the earth is going to be ran. It's going to be ran with the nation of Israel having the law, statutes, commandments written in their inward parts, because that's going to be needed for the earth to be put back in order, is with Israel starting with Yahweh Shai, the 144,000 being in their right minds. Pushing out the law, statutes, commandments throughout the earth to these heathens, getting them in order, because the whole nation of Israel is going to be in their right mind in the kingdom of heaven. This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. And we're at the complete opposite of that. We're not in a government, with a wise judge. We're in a government, in a city, in a kingdom with a dumbass judge, Esau Edom. He don't even know how to run a company, a business. You give it to Esau Edom, he fucks up the whole business. He starts cutting corners thinking he's going to save money, and it ends up backfiring on him. Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of the men the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So this is why the world is moving how it's moving. Recklessly, carelessly, just that do as that will spirit. Because the ruler, Esau Edom, he hasn't set things in order. He turns everything backwards. The women over the men, children ruling over men. Got Esau over Jacob. Like it says, I have seen princes or servants upon horses and princes, being farmers. Because ultimately the nation of Israel is under the curses right now. But the curses are slowly being turned on our enemies. First and foremost with Esau Edom. It says, verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And that's right around the corner, the prudent ones, the Israelites, those who are going to put the earth, the world back in order. Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over one that is profitable. Because Esau Edom, he don't profit nobody. He doesn't even profit himself. If Yahweh Shema Shai was to let this devil continue to do what he's doing, to establish the NWO, put up data centers, cut all the trees down, pollute all the air, pollute all the water, like, don't you live here? Don't your dumbass live on the earth? This Edomite Esau, he does, but yet he's willing to take it that far to allow nukes to be shut off and to cause a nuclear winter. That's why Yahweh Shema Shai is about to bring this devil down, because he's not profitable. He's not even profitable to himself. That's why the days are being sped up, because if not, no flesh would be saved. If we was to continue to be under the Edomite for another 500, 200 years, the whole, everybody would die off, because it's just getting worse and worse. Verse 8, jump down to verse 8, Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So he's back to the Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. He has gotten all these resources, riches, wealth, gold, silver, by going around the earth and deceiving the nations. By going around the earth and taking more than he should. Going back into that land Sabbath. You're supposed to let the land rest after 7 years. You're supposed to free your slaves after that 49th year, in the year of Jubilee. But does Esau do that? No, Esau doesn't do that. He puts people to work till they drop dead. He constantly raises up the retirement age back to, it went from 60 and it's 65. Now it's 85. Now they're talking about there's no such thing as retirement. You're just going to work till you die. But this is the kingdom that we're living in. But in the kingdom of heaven, that all these Edomitish ways, the ways of Esau, Edom, is going to be done away with. And the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai, the kingdom of heaven, it's going to establish all righteousness throughout the four corners of the earth. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's what we're looking forward to, us are the hopeful elect. That's what the whole creation, the earth, the wildlife, the sea life, the fowls of the air, the trees, the grass, the dirt, the ocean life. That's what they're looking forward to, because everybody knows that Esau, Edom, at this point, he's not fit to rule. Only this devil thinks that with his pride that, oh, I should rule forever, because look how good of a job I'm doing of running the planet Earth. This devil can't even run a simple business. What makes him they think that he's going to be able to run up an entire planet Earth for eternity? He's not. That's why Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about to bring this devil down and bring up the nation of Israel, starting with Yahweh Shai, the 144,000, and they're going to put things back in order. They're going to push the laws, statutes, commandments at the forefront. They're going to put these heathens back in subjection and whip their ass when they go off. But that's pretty much the point. I pray that this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all in this truth from and grew well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom.